Hello, everyone. What a guan, people. How's everybody doing today? How are you all doing? I hope you had a great weekend. I don't know if you are partying because of the pandemic that we're experiencing, but I hope to some extent you are having a good time. All right. I just want to say big up to all of you who are here, who keep showing me all this love. Okay. I'm trying to multitask and I can't do that. Bear with me. All right. Bear with me for 5 seconds. I mean, 5 seconds is a long time, but okay. Yeah. So how are you all doing? How is everybody doing today? I hope you all had a great weekend. I'm seeing that certainly here in Jamaica, we're beginning to have parties and stuff again. So people are getting back out there. Not me. Hi, Queen Aisha. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining the live. It's always a joy and a pleasure to have you here. SF Rose, my sister for life. You know we love you. Carolina Hilly Billy, thank you so much, bro, for the raid. Thank you for the strength and the support. You know I love your lives. You're the man. You're the man at the plan. Hello, Mary Ann. How you doing? Always a joy to see you in my lives. It's been very, very hot all of last week. And in the last half an hour, it's just gotten so cool. Lots of wind. It's still sunny out, but it's nice and cool. It's an amazingly beautiful day. Tony Damien, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Thank you so very much for coming on over. My family, thank you guys for being here. Everyone say hello to everyone else in the stream. You know, this is a family. This is all about love. And today, actually, I would like us to discuss this word that we throw about constantly, you know, that famous, I think it's Stevie Wonder, these 3 words, you know, do you all know that word, those 3 words? I love you. You know, when someone says this to you, you know, when someone says these amazing things to you, I love you. I love you so much. You're my heart. Eileen Verdino, welcome. Thank you so very, very much. I am very, very good, Eileen Verdino. I am actually very, very, very good. I had a great weekend. I got some work done, and then I slept and I walked around half naked and scratched my tush. It was a great weekend. But then I think many of us have been doing that for the last 5 months. We've sort of stopped. So I'm having a great time. Thank you so very much for asking. Aisha, how are you? Marianne, how are you? Kerry Knopf, welcome. Thank you for coming over from my brother from another mother, Carolina Hillbilly 1961. It's always great to have you here. You guys are amazing, and I'm really grateful for your support. It means a lot to have you here in the chat. I mean, you could be doing something else somewhere else, you know. So I want us to spend a little time today and discuss those 3 words that we all hear all too often, that we hear very, very, very often. All right. I love you. And we hear those words. Well, most of us, I think, have heard those words more than once throughout our lives. And I'm talking about in a romantic way. I'm not talking about from your parents or your siblings or your friends, which is also very, very important. I'm talking about the classic Tina Turner, "What's love got to do?" You know, does it really have anything to do with this process? And you know, how real is this process that we all get so excited about? And have we all been sort of brainwashed? Tony Damon says we are going to be grandparents. Ah, you are? Is that true? Congratulations if that's so. You mean the fridge and? Yeah, so I wanted us to just to go through these words that we hear so often, and we have all been told these words, and I think many of us have actually used these words to other persons at some point in our existence. Hey, oh baby, I love you. I mean, I know I've said that to a few persons in my existence. I have to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm trying to multitask, people, and you all know I can't do. SF Rose was pointing out something to me, and she's very right. By the way, while you're here, I need to also say welcome to the mods. Thank you so very much for always making this seamless and effortless. Caroline Hillbilly 1961 says Fridge and Alexa. That should be a very interesting combination of factors. And who said those three words first? All right, Sharon Bailey. Hi, Sharon. Sharon Bailey, everyone, is my very, very, very first girlfriend from primary school, and still my very close friend and one of the most amazing human beings I know. And I talk my business, I don't care. I am just very honest. Hi, Sharon. Welcome to the chat. Expedition Greg, what a go on, my brother. Angela M. Angela M. Angela M. We are discussing today those three words that we hear too often. And I'm wondering how relevant those three words are, if it means anything to us anymore, if it's been overdone, and those three words, I love you. And I'm talking about from a romantic perspective, not paternal or maternal. I'm just talking about two people meeting, sparks flying, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So feel free to get involved and let me hear your opinions as I rant. My beautiful, beautiful sister SF Rose has pointed out to me that when I go off in my zone, sometimes I'm not reading the comments. So I'm going to be trying to do that this time. I'm going to be trying to read the comments, etc., etc. Mrs. G TV. Hello, it is a pleasure to have you in the chat, Mrs. G TV. How are you? I hope you had a great weekend. I hope all is well and you remain blessed and highly favored. Thank you so very much for coming into the chat. And as I'm saying today, I want us to discuss those three words that throughout our lives, many of us have heard, we've been told, we've used it, we've said it. Those three words, I love you. And then I want to look at I love you, and is it contextual? Does it mean anything? Is it relevant to what we are now talking about and are discussing? Charmaine Francis, welcome, Charmaine Francis. Welcome, Charmaine Francis. Welcome, Charmaine Francis. Welcome, Charmaine. Anybody remembers funk? Okay, all right. Yeah, welcome, Charmaine. While you're here, please remember to smash that thumbs up. We always appreciate that. It helps us. YouTube likes it too, and I love it. So big up to all the moderators. I appreciate all of you. I hear my brother Carolina Hilly Billy saying it. There is a reason why we use that terminology as Rasta, why we do not say I appreciate you, because of the word hate. And we believe that the literal intent of the word cannot be a positive one. Nadira X, welcome. Josh, people, you've got to say hello to Nadira X and Joshua. Joshua and Nadira are amazingly talented people. If you want to hear a great track, and I don't normally do this, they have a track out called Fire. You must go cop that track. You all know I'm into music. So if I'm telling you you're going to like this track, you're not going to like it. You're going to love it. It's a track called Fire. Joshua is an amazing talent. Nadira X, So welcome, everybody, to the chat. And like I said, Aisha says, Blacklight Records, do you know the song in my comment up top? Okay. Wait. Let me check. Let me see if I can find what you said. Because, you see, this is my problem. When I go off on a zone, I'm just... twin, you're having actual grandchildren. I'm trying to find it. Bear with me, all. Okay, Love Power. Oh, is it the same Love? I know Love Power by Luther Vandross. Is it the same Love Power? Because that's the only Love Power I know. I wish, we have to do a live together, because I love hearing you sing. But that's the only, we've got love. You should hear Joshua sing this, man. Joshua's a crazy, crazy vocals. Crazy vocals. Is that the song you're talking about, Aisha? Ruth Daly, welcome, Ruth Daly. Thank you so very much for making it into the live. Thank you for being here, Ruth. And we are discussing the three words that we have all been told and or we have used ourselves. I love you. You know that when he looks into your eyes and he says, "Oh, baby, I love you." You know, I mean, what does it mean? You know what I'm saying? What does it mean? Is TR in the chat? Okay, bruh. TR, my brother from another mother also. Big up yourself. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to you all, my family, my friends. Love you all. Thank you for being here. You could be somewhere else. By the way, we are celebrating today my second week doing lives. This is my second week. So we could call this my new virginity popping. My new virginity is popping, people. Joy. Hey, Joy, what's up? Joy, how you doing? How are you? Always a vibe to love seeing you here. Welcome, welcome. Y'all are such amazing people. So, I love you. I love you. What does that really mean, though? I mean, you know, seriously, what does that mean? The first time I remember saying that to a girl, she's in the chat. Sharon Bailey, do you remember the first time I told you that? We had walked home from primary school, and I walked you up to your road. You know, remember off Washington Boulevard, and we were children. I think we could not have been more than 10 years old. And I said, "Sharon, I love you," and I ran off. But what I remember distinctly about that was that Sharon was so cool about this. Yeah, Sharon was so cool and level-headed. I think girls, when we are growing up, I mean, especially when we start having these kinds of feelings when we are younger, right? I think the girls tend to be a little bit, maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but I think the girls tend to be more like, you know, more level-headed than the boys. I mean, I was just stupid. Sharon, do you remember that? Yeah, Sharon Bailey responded, and I was walking 3 feet off the ground. You remembered? Oh my gosh, that was like, Sharon, it took me maybe 3 weeks to be able to say that, to build up the courage to say that. And I really think at that point, for a 10-year-old, I thought I was in love. I think I was in love. I mean, you know, it was a big deal to me. I've often wondered, right, when we use these words, I think as we get older, however, when we use the word "I love you," its meaning changes. Sharon Bailey says, yes, you never forget your first love. That is true. I don't think any of us actually forget our first love, especially if it was reciprocated. And luckily for me, Sharon liked me, you know, and that was like a huge deal for me. But then as you get older, right, you find that the word changes in terms of its tone and its meaning. So I remember when I got older, I was about 13 or 14 years old, and there was this girl that lived down the road, whose name I cannot remember. Expedition Greg, Ruth Daly says, so true, Sharon. Worse if it was good. Yes, very true, Ruth. I mean, when you have that first feeling for someone and you think that this is it, it's like, dang. You know what I'm saying? And you walk around. Sharon said she was like 3 feet off the ground. I was on the moon. I was like, Sharon loves me. I was literally floating. Expedition Greg says, I'm okay, tired, about to clock out. Oh, you're at work, man. Off work. Soon heading home. So good to see you. Oh, my brother. I do not envy you. But, you know, you get that rest. Kubo, Nijuan, welcome. It's always good to have you here. Ooh, Kubo. Yeah, I'm going to write a song for you, man. Aisha says, I didn't expect true love until I met my current husband. I didn't experience true love until I met my current husband. Love isn't supposed to hurt, and every love before him hurt me. But maybe there's a reason for that, because what I was leading to is Nadir's ex says levitation. Yeah, I think that that first time when you think you've hit that mark, when I said that to Sharon, I mean, first of all, Sharon is okay. So dig this: Sharon is British. She's English, and she has this amazing British accent. But we all love the British accent. And then her parents, amazing people, two amazing human beings. Her mom is English, her father is Jamaican. Now dig this. She now lives in the US. Now, when I met her, she had that really thick, she still has it, but it was really thick English accent. It's beautiful. And all the boys at school were like, we were all crazy about her. But we were kids. We didn't know how to express this to her. Okay, so for us, so when I was able, it took me a long time to be able to say, Kubo says, thanks host for noticing me, watching for the Philippines. It is always a joy to have you here, and I will always notice you. You are family. We notice and love family. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It is always a joy. I'm going to write you a song, so when you come in, I can hit the song for you. And so when I told her this, I had been building up to this, because the thing is, I think that love, when you say I love you at that age, 10, 9, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, there's a sensation, there's an honesty to it. There's an honesty to when you say to the person at that stage, I love you, because it's honest, it's pure, it's not driven by anything else. There's no other desire and or want. You just love the person. So when I said this to Sharon Jarrett, and she responded in a positive way, I was like, oh, so amio. I was gone. And I remember it just blew me away. I was gone. I was floored. This was it for me. This was it. The prettiest girl in primary school with amazing English accent, by the way, one of the brightest girls in primary school, said she loved me also. And I was like, wow, that was Vermont Paint and Photos. How you doing, bro? How are you? Welcome. Thank you for being in my life. You're my brother from another mother also. So, we love you being here. Thank you so very, very, very much for being here. So for me, that was a huge deal, that this amazing girl. But the thing is, at that stage, here's the trick. Here's the key. There was no sexual intent at that point. It was love. You know what I'm saying? Joy says, Lord, if this is heaven, let me die now. I'm not sure why he said that, but anyway. So my point is, I think Bridget Clark. Bridget, how are you, Bridget? How are you, pretty girl? Bridget, again, amazing girl, amazing human being, amazing mother, amazing person. Another person who I said those words to. Yes. Yep. Amazing person. But I think what happened is with a Sharon at that stage, when you say the words, I love you, there's no extenuating factors. There's nothing else that's influencing you outside of the purity of that terminology, I love you. So at that point, when she says, I love you back, and it's pure, there's nothing else happening there. You're like, she loves me. She loves me. She loves me. And it blew me away. It blew me away. I think it gave me power and strength. I was like Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spin the world anytime. Why do I know this song? Because I love Spider-Man. So that was an amazing thing, because I think when you say I love you to another person at that stage in your lives, when you're both that young, there's an innocence to it. That innocence changes, it evolves as we get older. Because by the time I would use those words to Bridget, it was a different terminology. There was the same power and strength, but it was driven by other emotions. There was lust. There was all these other elements that happened at that point. And my question is, does it happen? So when we start evolving, when we start becoming more sexual beings, do we confuse the term "I love you" with "I desire you"? Or can you combine both factors? You follow what I'm trying to say to you? Because I think what happens is when you get older, the process, that whole process of evolving in terms of being a person, your desires start to change. So it changes that concept of falling in love. That idea. Now, I had an experience a good while ago. By the way, thank you all, everybody in the chat who's sharing out the link. Thank you. It's appreciated, loved. I really appreciate it. So I was dating someone. This is years ago, and towards the end of the relationship, she said to me, we had a conversation. She wasn't happy anymore. I have a very simple process. If I'm with you and you're no longer happy, it's time for it to end. I mean, in other words, if there's nothing I can do, thank you, Kuba Nihwan. Thank you so very much. If there's nothing I can do to make you happy, in other words, I think a part of our process as human beings in a relationship with someone that you are supposed to be in love with is to make them happy. If you can just not make them happy, you cannot add, let me use this a better term. If you cannot add value to their life, maybe it's time to go. All right? Because the truth is, you can't really make anyone happy. Let's be honest. You can't. That has to come from inside the person. Bridget says, love means different things at different age. I agree with you. And that's one of the things I'm trying to say. I agree to completely, Bridget Clark. I think that as we evolve, our concept of love alters and it changes. So when we use the term "I love you," Vermont Paint and Photo said 34 years of marriage, still tell her "I love you" before we sleep every night. That is amazing. But Vermont Paint and Photos, has your feeling of love changed in any way? Has it altered? Has it deepened? Are you getting what I'm saying? Because I really believe that what happens is that as we evolve, this concept, because remember, this construct of love, is something that we hear every day. Let me give an example of what I mean. We hear love from so many different perspectives. So as you grow up, you hear about love in terms of innocence. So like when I said to Sharon Bailey, when we were 10, we were like 10 years, we were babies. That was completely innocent. That moment, it was as pure as it could be. Vermont Paint and Photos says yes, it's a soul level now. So the love evolved from something more tangible or more physical to something else. It deepens, right? Thank you so very much, Kuba Juan. Thank you so very much for sharing the link. I appreciate all of that. So I think that as we evolve, right, as we get older, that idea of "I love you" changes, combined with the fact that, right, as we get older, hopefully we start to fall in love with ourselves. You get what I'm saying? We start developing a different relationship with ourselves as we get older. And then we are impacted by all these things around you, right? So the songs hit you, right? The songs start impacting you. The songs impact the way you see the world. I've been alone with you inside my mind. Hello, is it me you're looking for? All these things combine, and then society starts to tell you what love is. Society starts to tell you what love should be, what the experience should be like. Vermont Paint and Photos says, from then she was smoke hot. She was smoking hot, and I want to know her, to can't see my life without her in it ever. But that's what I'm saying. It's the beauty of the evolution of this concept of us falling in love. Like we are supposed to evolve. and our desires change because I think we as human beings change. So when I said that to Sharon Bailey as a 10-year-old boy, the only desire I had as a 10-year-old boy was to hope that she felt the same way. It was utterly and completely pure. There was nothing else that was clouding my judgment. There was no fantasy concept of what love is. Vernon Paint and Photo says, Bridget Clark says, you can't truly love anyone if you don't love yourself first. And that's very, very true, I think. If you can't, because that's what I'm saying. As we evolve, our expectations for what we consider love change. And love then becomes where you are in your life. So I remember a point where, when I saw Sharon, her beauty to me was an innocent kind of beauty. It was a different kind of beauty. There was nothing sexual about her beauty to me because I was a child. So for me, she glowed. By the time I met Bridget, the love changed. Because again, Bridget is a beautiful, stunningly gorgeous woman. So there was a very strong element of sexuality to it. And it didn't hurt that she was one of the top female models in Jamaica at the time. It didn't, it wasn't like a bad thing. It was a good thing. But also my idea of love had evolved and changed. And I think what happens is sometimes as we evolve, right? As we grow, as we get older, as we mature, the persons we meet that we use these words to, they may either be parallel to us, they might maybe at the same place on the same highway heading in the same direction, or they may be going somewhere else. They may not have caught up with us, they may be way ahead of us. So this whole idea of what we mean by falling in love and being in love and loving someone starts evolving, it starts to change because our desires are changing, our sense of self is changing, and the other elements that we desire in love also change. Joy says the word love is so distorted and misunderstood now. Love and respect goes together. I agree. But I think, Joy, one of the reasons why there's so much like distortion, right? It could be because as we grow, our concept of love is bombarded by all these different things, So you have the movies where you meet the girl in high school and you're supposed to fall in love and, live forever. Or you are a song that, because remember I said in other life she might have been saying music sort of informs us. It's kind of like it's the soundtrack of our lives. So depending on what you're living and what you're being and where you're at that point in time, all of a sudden, bam! You know what I'm saying? Your concept of love may be very, very different from your partner's concept of love at that point in time. So the thing is, as we evolve, we have to first be in love with ourselves. The first person we need to say those three words to, and it means something, is we have to be able to say to ourselves, I love you. Because if you don't love you, you're going to have a lot of problems. Almost instantaneously. Anyone you're going to be involved with is going to have problems. Because if you don't love you, if your perspective or idea of falling in love, or I'm in love with you, or I love you, those three words, is skewed in any way, then the person you are focusing that attention on is an immediate problem. Because and sometimes they tell us that we are selfish, but it's not selfishness. Sharon Bailey says, I agree, Joy. Mixed with kindness, a lot of kindness. Yes, and patience. As I've gotten older, I've started to realize that for you to really love a person, you have to be super patient with that person. So the thing is, our perception of what we consider love evolves. When I said I love you to Sharon Bailey, it was completely different in many ways from when I said I love you to Bridget Clark. They were different things. There were different moments in my life. I was at a different place in my life. And my desire at that point in time was just different. I wanted different things. All right. So my soundtrack started to change. So my soundtrack, it went from I had to meet you here today. There's just so many things to say. Please don't stop me till I'm through. It went from that to I know you're right in the morning sun. And then by the time it got to the point where it was like, wake up, wake up, wake up, let's make love tonight. You get what I'm saying? So I think that we are our whole process, the way we see this concept of love, it keeps evolving and it keeps changing. Vermont Paint and Photos says, I never heard I love you as a kid. Just first time I ever said it to my mom as an adult, she didn't know how to answer. Now she tells me us all every time we talk. Wow, that is beautiful. It is beautiful that you were brave enough to bring this to your mom because we know she loved you. That's obvious. You're a cool person. But sometimes, if I mean, I grew up in a household where we said those words freely. Um, my dad said it mostly when we were much younger. But then the girl Cleo is in the building. The girl Cleo is in the building. The girl Cleo, welcome. Thank you so much for making it into this live stream. Thank you for being here with us. We are discussing those three words, these three words, according to the wonderful Stevie Wonder, the I love you words that we all hear. You know what I'm saying? The Joy says, this is a very great topic, bro, Peter. Yeah, I mean, I just think, oh, thank you, the girl Cleo. You love my music. That means a lot to me because I do my music for you. And I'm really, really happy when I make you all happy. It means a lot to me. Yeah, because the thing is, Joy, we have all used this term, and we all have expectations when someone says I love you or you say it to someone. And I think, unfortunately for us, we don't calculate in all the other things that are happening. The person is changing, you're evolving, your ideas are changing, what you expect. As I said, when I said I love you to Sharon Bailey and when I said I love you to Bridget Clark, I was at two different points in my life. I loved them both, but it was two different types of love. You know what I'm saying? It was two different. By the time I met Bridget Clark, it was kind of like my, sure look good tonight. It was love, but there was a Italy Watson. Everyone in the chat, please hello to my sister, Italy Watson, another amazing talent. There's so many amazing talented people here. Vermont Paints, and there's so many amazing people in this chat. Thank you all so very much for being here. Ita, we are discussing those three words. I love you. The significance of the three words. The Miss Yo-Yo Show. You are here in the building and not in the bushes. Thank you, baby girl. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We love you being here. You are such an amazing human being. Thank you for being here, Italy Watson. Mwah, 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 mwah. So the thing is, by the time I said this to these two girls, it was two different things. The first person, it was just love. Love, soft as an easy chair. Love, fresh as a morning air. Love that is shared by two, I have found in you. That was what the love I felt at 10 years old for a 10-year-old beautiful girl. But by the time I met Bridget, it was put on your red dress and step in your high heels and some of that sweet perfume. Because the love had changed. It had evolved into something not just love, but sexual. But the first time I saw Bridget, it was not like, I didn't look at her and say, oh my, what a wonderful personality. You see, women, I don't know if some of my close female friends still don't understand that. Most men, when we see a woman, we don't normally say, oh my goodness, what a beautiful personality. We don't say, oh my gosh, I just love her personality. She is just amazing. We normally say, God damn, she's fine. Oh my goodness. Ooh, ooh, I would love me some of that. We don't normally meet you. Wait a second. Vermin Painter Photo says, Tony Dan, didn't you have enough issues with nature? Get out of the bushes. Miss Yo-Yo Show says, I feel that you will stay in love no matter the evolution. If we don't have expectations, if you go with the flow of love, we'll be able to hang in there with the change. I agree to Carter Club. Got girl in the building. Got girl in the building. Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree with the Miss Yo-Yo show. I agree with you 1,000,000%. I really think that that's really imperative and important. But I also think that what happens to us is we are influenced by so many other elements when we believe we're in love, when we start to evolve. Like I said, when I said I love you to Sharon Bailey, it was absolutely innocent. There were no expectations at all. Um, Everyone say hello to everyone else in the chat, please. Show some love to each other because you're all amazing people and thank you for being here. I love all of you for being here. Um, at that stage, there was the only expectation I had was I hoped desperately that she would say I love you too. And she did. And she did, people. But that's all that was my expectation. When I met Bridget, I think the love, it was different because at that point, it was it the expectation, because when I first saw Bridget, I listen, people, Bridget is fine. And when I first met her, my honest, what happened was I didn't, I was, when I saw her, I was like this. Yeah, damn, god damn, she's fine. Oh my god. Ooh. I did a Michael Jackson. Oh, go girl. It was a completely different sentiment, because immediately when I first saw her, my thoughts were complete. Hello, and Mrs. Mack, I am flabbergasted. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you so very much for joining the chat. Everyone say hello to another amazing human being, Angela McPherson. Really, really, really amazing human being. Thank you so very much for coming to the chat. Carter Club. Oh man. Yeah, so when I first saw her, I didn't look at her. I didn't think, oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't say, oh my God, who's that girl? Bridget? Oh my gosh, she is absolutely wonderful. Oh my goodness. Look at her personality. She just glows. I was lusting. My desires were complete. I was literally like this. I'm sorry. Dre CEO in the building. What's up, bruh? My brother from another mother, welcome. Thank you so very much for being in the chat. Thank you. Vernon Painted Photos says, painting is passion expressing love in a visible form. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. I agree with you utterly, completely. So both women, Sharon Bailey is beautiful, stunningly beautiful. But what had happened is I had evolved. So by the time I met Bridget, I was a different person. I was still the core me. That girl, Cleo, says, I was feeling low on energy until I came onto your LS and you brought my energy level from 0 to 100. That is my, thank you so very much. But you know what? It's all of us who did this because you are amazing. So, and it doesn't hurt that girl Cleo that I'm a little cray because we need some crazy people around, especially now, right? But so the thing is, by the time I evolved to meeting Bridget, my expectations were different, my desires were different. What I wanted out of the relationship was a completely different thing. I was not the same person anymore. My desires were different. I saw, when I looked at Bridget, when I met her, I wanted her to reciprocate. I wanted her to give me something else. I hope my children never, ever watch this live. God, it just hit me. But I mean, my desire was completely, Myrna Taylor, it's okay, Myrna. You are with family, and family is always welcome, and you are never late. You are here when the universe wants you here. So when I saw Bridget, I didn't say to myself, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, what a lovely girl. I said, damn, I would love me some of that. And this is the thing. So when I said the words, I love you to her, those words were now different They were not the innocent words of a 10-year-old saying this to another 10-year-old. My hope and expectations had changed because sex had entered the fray. And I think what sex does, and it's a beautiful, amazing, remarkable thing, is that when sex enters the fray in a relationship, let's talk, we adults here. When it enters the fray in a relationship, it can cannibalize the relationship. It can become all consuming, and it can lead to those other emotions that we don't understand when we are 10, which is jealousy, insecurity, the desire to own the person. So this means that we as individuals have to start evolving. You get what I'm trying to say to you? Tony Damon says, uh, I will not repeat. I'm teasing Tony. Tony didn't say anything that is inappropriate. She's amazing. What I'm saying is, the truth is, once we start evolving, so we, the individual, we start to change. When sex enters the purview, when you hit adolescent years and your desires start taking you over, then your process changes, because when you say you love someone at that stage, it may not be as innocent or as pure because it's influenced by so many other things. But then there's a third element that impacts all of us. And you have to think, follow me here, follow me. As you get older, your perception of the words I love you also change because of what you are importing into this. Television, movies, radio. Triple Deuce Scratcher, big up. Thank you so very much. Thank you for coming into the chat. It is always a joy and pleasure. Welcome. You are with family. Speak your mind, as long as it's love and peaceful. And we are discussing, since you just got here, we're discussing those three words that many of us have been told and we have used: I love you, and the significance of those words, if they really mean anything, and what is the impact of those words. So what I'm saying is, as we get older, right, outside of we, the individual, changing, sex entering the fray, the desire for sex, changing our persona and changing our desires and expectations when we say I love you to someone, something else enters the fray. And we're discussing, by the way, relationship. We're discussing relations. We're not discussing maternal or paternal or friendships. We're talking about intimacy. That kind of I love you. Vermin Painted Photo says, I went to a Roman Catholic school until high school, grade 9. Dating was not so common until high school. All right, cool. I mean, cool. That is, was that a good thing, you think, or do you think that impacted you negatively? Let me know, bro. Let me know what you think, Vermin Painted Photos. Was it a good thing that you weren't allowed to date until you got to that point? So the other thing that starts to impact us, so remember now, age 10, I look at Sharon Bailey and I say, I love you. No expectations. My expectation is, hopefully she loves me too. Happy. Just happy just to hold her hand. Happy just to walk. Happy just be in her presence. To breathe the same air she's breathing. That was enough. By the time I meet Bridget Clark, it's a different kind of thing. I'm happy to do all those things too, but I expect something else. I now desire intimacy. I now desire the person to be with me. I now desire, and other things start entering the fray, like jealousy, insecurity, because the intimacy changes that process, right? Vermin Painted Photo says, no, it was not a good thing. Very unsocial life. It took years to adjust. Cool. I got it, bro. I got it. So what happens then, right, is that, okay, boom, you're in love. But then there's this other expectation. So we start going to the movies. So we watch, you watch a movie like, what's the name of this movie? I just remember, I remember the theme song, Memories, like the corners of my mind, misty watered colored memories, the way we were, scattered pictures. So that, this Bridget Clark says, as we mature, love and sex can become a mental state where you will experience mind-blowing effect. And that is true. That is also that's also the other thing. That's the positive. That's the amazing thing. Yeah, the way we were. I think that was the name. The movie was called The Love Story. So this movie, the innocence, the purity of that love. And then We start seeing movies like Staying Alive, where like Saturday Night Fever, where love becomes a little skewed and confused, more realistic, more honest. Um, when you start something like Pygmalion, it's called My Fair Lady, the musical, where that whole concept of love. So what's happening is that as we evolve, we're being bombarded by all these other concepts, these other ideas, some in conflict with what you were brought up to believe. Um, because some of these things introduce concepts and ideas about love that are impractical, yeah, and unrealistic. So we start expecting something from our relationships sometimes. Okay, let me put it another way. These movies and these songs, which are also amazing, can create a state of fantasy. We start expecting our happiness to come from our partners. We start expecting our partners to make us happy. Your partner can't really make you happy. I don't think so. I mean, I think I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm not sure about that. I think our partners can help to create a better world for us. I think our partners can create a situation that is more uplifting, positive, healthier. But our partners can't really make us happy. Because the thing is, as we're getting older, right, we start forgetting some fundamentals. We start forgetting that the first person, as I said earlier, the first person that the word I love you needs to meet, the first person has to be, you know what? The first person you need to say I love you to and mean it is you. You. Bridget taught me that. She taught me that if I didn't love me, I couldn't love her. Not really. I could pretend to love her. I could live a fantasy through her. I could create an idealism that's not true. Because are you following what I'm saying to you? Because this idea of love becomes skewed, I think, sometimes, not with all of us, but with some of us as we evolve. Our expectations become unrealistic. Joy says happiness comes from our mind within us. Yes, I think a sense of being complete it comes from us. We have to love ourselves first. The problem is a lot of the things that in our lives teach us never ever to say, to admit to loving ourselves, because we are taught that if you love yourself and you freely admit this, it's arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's logic. If I can't swim and my 14-year-old says, Daddy, teach me to swim, and I throw in the deep end and I jump in, you know what's going to happen? We're both going to drown. We're going to die. If I can't love me, if I don't love me, if I don't appreciate who I am as an individual, how am I going to love someone else? How? How am I going to be able to say to her, hey, I love you? How am I going to get it? Because what's happening is I will be living a fantasy here. It'll be in my head. It won't be real. I'll be doing what people expect me to do. Who had a weed eat? SF Rose said had to weed eat. It took a huge fall. Whoa. Amy, what's up, Amy? How you doing? Welcome to the chat, my friend. It is a joy and a blessing to see you here. It is a joy. If you do not fall in love with yourself, and this is something we need to communicate with our children and our nieces and nephews and people who are younger than us, we need to be able to say to them, hey, you need to love you. It's okay. It's not arrogant. It's not selfish. It's not narcissism. If you can't love you, if you can't appreciate yourself, you're going to have some huge problems. There are going to be some massive, massive, massive issues. You have to love you first. I mean, just think about it. If you don't love you, you know, all the things that we've been through, wish you could understand me. I think that's the word. Like I understand you. I can't remember the rest of the words. If you don't know me by now, you will never, never, never. Ooh. Good to see you too, Amy. Always a pleasure to see you. If you can't love yourself, you're going to start having a lot of problems. Because as I started to reflect on this concept of love, I realized that at every different phase of my life, every woman I've ever said this to, I was at a different point, and the meaning kept compounding. It kept changing. It kept evolving. It kept becoming something else. You follow me? It became something else. So I started, by the time I hit my early 20s, I started to realize, hey, I need to love me. I need to love me. How am I going to love someone's girl, someone's little daughter, someone's baby girl, if I don't love me? I can pretend to love her. I can pretend to do the things that I'm told I should be doing. You get what I'm saying? But how am I going to really love her? So, two things. When sex enters the fray, it changes our perception of what I love you means. Because the desire compounds and it changes. Two, as we grow, we are bombarded by the media, television, music, our friends, our family, the people around us, right? So that perception of of love starts to change and evolve. Three, our immediate family informs of us of what love is. What we grew up seeing. And I mean, if you're in a situation where you grew up seeing something negative, if you grew up seeing, if you had parents or a single parent who was able to experience love, that also starts to inform us because it's programmed at the back of our heads of what we expect love to be. So the people around us, as we are children growing up, they also impact. Are you following me? They impact our lives. They impact what we think the words I love you mean because of what we see. So if I see my mom abuse my dad, or if I see my dad abuse my mom, or if I never see my parents communicate love verbally, or if I never see my parents communicate love in my presence, or if I never see my parents have a disagreement, I mean, what I'm saying is those people seriously impact how we conceive of love and how we love another person as we get older. Because you don't forget those things. They stay here forever. They're going to be with you. So you start changing. Are you following what I'm saying to you? The way you see this idea of love is impacted by all these factors. Queen Aisha says, yes, you won't know what it looks like. Because all these things are informing you as to what love really is. You know, when the diva, the ultimate diva said, you must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. Do you all remember how revolutionary that concept was? But it's only a thrill of boy meeting girl, opposite attract, it's physical. Think about what you were saying. Only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? Who needs a heart when a heart could be broken? Now, that introduces another thing that I wanted us to talk about. Another thing that happens as we get older and as we evolve and as we see other people, date other people, fall in love with other people. At the beginning of the chat, one of you amazing persons said, I think you said something like, you've always been disappointed in your relationships. Now, that's another part of the issue. By the time I had met Bridget Clark, I had been heartbroken already. So when I met Bridget, unlike when I first told Sharon Bailey I loved her, I couldn't have been heartbroken. There was nothing to heartbreak. But by the time I got to Bridget Clark, I was like, emotionally, my heart was like this. Okay, you're going to hurt me. What are you up to? What are you up to? So that word that we all know, baggage. Bridget Clark says, unfortunate but true, but many people never saw love at home. They grow up not knowing what love is and have a hard time finding true love. That's very true, Bridget. Vermin Payton Photo said, I had only a mom since I was 6, no father in my life. But on the other hand, I had no negative views of marriage. That is beautiful. That's beautiful, bro, because it means your mom did something right. She did something right. Um, so compounded with all these other factors now, and follow me, because love is an amazing thing. I can prove this to you. But I'm saying these other elements enter. Aisha says, Bridget Clark, I agree. And they have hard time accepting love. Yes. Because we are informed by all these things. So by the time I met Bridget, I'd been hurt. I had been wounded. And I was defensive. And I didn't realize that I entered that relationship like this. I thought, oh man, oh man, my man, so oh, we're good enough. Yeah, yeah. Oh, break who's heart. I thought about, man, foolishness. That can't happen, man. I never dealt with my heartbreaks or my disappointments. I never assessed personally. You get me? I never sat down and thought, and I think a lot of us, we go through these sequences, but we never look deeper. We never look at what we're going through. We never think about the process of what we're going through. We don't realize that as we are compounded and hit and hit and hit, it's like a boxer. You keep hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting, he's going to get sore. Especially if he's getting those kidney blows and those body shots. You're hitting him in the ribs. The arms are going to eventually do this because of the pain. And the will alone won't do it. And then you set them up and you deliver the blow. Now, the thing is, if both of you have had those kind of body shots, if both of you, your concept of love has been changed or slightly altered, if both of you lived through a situation where you did not see your family express love in that manner, in that male, female, or that relationship, whatever your orientation, whatever, if you didn't see that, then that now alters. And the thing is, as you get older and you start experiencing your own situations, you bring all of this stuff into your relationships. And often there's no one we can go to and say, hey, this is happening to me. What do I do? And I think that's where it's imperative that we fall in love with ourselves. That's where the concept of falling in love with yourself becomes really important, because it means that you have a firmer foundation. So by the time I met her, my perspective of love had changed. It had become more sexual in its orientation. And hey, sex is an amazing thing. Amazing. Especially, as Bridget said, if it's combined with true love and it's magical. It's transforming. It transforms your life, transforms your brain, changes your wiring. But if you enter that situation in a mist, and I mean in a mist, saying you've been hit by all these things, you're getting all these blows emotionally, you don't even realize that you are being affected. So when you meet someone, that time when you say I love you, it's kind of like this. At 10 it's I love you. At that time it's like I love you. And we start thinking that saying these three words means you're vulnerable. Saying I love you to the person creates weakness or an opportunity for that person to take advantage of you. And that's really unfortunate. I mean, most of the times that's unfortunate, because these ideas are skewed. They're not exactly correct. They can be correct, but they're not exactly correct. The thing is, I'd been seeing someone many years ago. And as I had started to say, towards the end of the relationship, because we all kind of know when it's ending. I think we all, one of us might be fighting, but we kind of know that certain things we start to realize this has ended. And I said to her, I said, are you happy? And she said, I said, out of 100%, how often are you happy? And she said like 5%. And I was like, And I just said to her, let's end this. Let's end this. Because if you are only happy 5% of the times in my presence or around me or in this relationship, this makes no sense. It's unfair to you. Forget me. It's not even fair to you. And then she said something really important that has stuck with me for many, 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 many years later. I said, you know, I love you very much. And she said, love, she said, Peter, sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes I love you is not enough. That altered my being. I mean, I had poured everything into this person. Everything that I had, I had poured into her. When she said that, I felt like Mike Tyson at age 22. I'm in the boxing ring, and he shows that double right hook that he used to throw one to the left rib. You double down, and he hits you with that uppercut, and you go straight down. She floored me because I was taught that love is always enough. Love is always enough to survive any situation. Um, Aisha says, love is not enough. Vermont Paint and Photo says, sorry, I must step away to feed the baby kid. That's fine, no problem, man. Um, that rocked my world. And I don't mean like the Michael Jackson way. That really rocked my world. That altered my very perception of what this idea of love is, because I'd bought into the fantasy. And I remember I went home and I listened to that song by Tina Turner over and over again. Sharon Bailey says, so true, Peter. My brother and I were exceptionally blessed to be raised by two parents who were not taught how to treat taught how to treat your spouse, yet taught us invaluable lessons in the value of marriage. Yes, Sharon Bailey, I remember your parents. The way those people loved each other, it was palpable. You could see it. There was like no question that these two people loved each other, and I think that's an amazing thing to experience growing up. And I thought I knew everything about that concept of love. I mean, the relationship love, the relations love, the sexually based love. When she said that to me, people, that was like, whoa, that was like a whole different kind of process. Because one thing I've always done in my life, right, is that I've learned that everyone has a right, not only a right to their opinion, but there is value to almost every opinion, even the most extreme and preposterous and ridiculous ones, even the ones that are destructive and that make no sense, right? Aries G37, welcome. Thank you so much for watching from Hong Kong. It is a joy and a pleasure to have you in the chat. Welcome. You are family. You are welcome. We are discussing the three words, I love you, and the how important these words are, and if they serve any true purpose. So welcome. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your life to join us here. All right. Good morning to you also. I'm going to we're going to overcome this pandemic at some point in the near future, and I'm going to be coming to hopefully Hong Kong. I love traveling. I'm one of those people. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Always a joy to have you here. Just like I'm going to be in the Philippines, Kubo. I'm going to be in the Philippines. There, no doubt. It seems like a beautiful place. So when she said those words to me, I went home and I studied that song. You must understand. The TR show, bruh, welcome. Thank you so very much. Oh, thank you. Oh, you are here as a result of my friend Kubo Nihuan. Thank you so much for coming on over. Very, very cool. I hope you have fun with us and you enjoy. Big up yourself, bruh. The TR show is in the building, everybody. Say hello to our new friend, Aris G37, everybody. Please show some love and big up my brother from another mother, the TR show. So this thing blew me away, right? Just imagine someone saying those words to you, Peter, love is not enough. And I've heard many, many persons say that since. Love is not enough. Peter, love is not enough. And I grew up really believing, it might be the artist in me, that love is enough. That love is enough. She said, no, it's not enough. I went back and I listened to that song. You must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. Mm-hmm. But it's only a thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? That blew me away. I've been listening to that song since I was a child, and I did not understand what was being said in that song. I had no clue. She was saying, I don't want to be in love. Let's just be physical, let's just, get it on. Motuvat 1. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Motuvat 1. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so very much for taking time out. We send you our love and our blessing. Everyone say hello, please. Show some love to our newbie, our new family member, Motuvat. I hope I pronounced that correctly. 1. I'm Jamaican, so please forgive. She was saying, I've been hurt enough. I do not want to fall in love with you. Let's just be physical. Let's just get this over with. It was after that happened to me in my life. I heard a term that I had never heard before. Y'all don't laugh at me. Joy says, hello, I know, Amy, sometimes I'm greeting you, but you're not seeing me. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Motivate 1. Thank you so much for correcting me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Motivate 1. Welcome to the chat, Motivate 1. Welcome to the family. Cool. SFO says, love if you tag the persons. It's easier to see. Okay, if I tag them. SFOs, how do I do that? Remember, I'm new to this. I'm a newbie. You just have to tell me what to do, sis. Use at and okay. I guess you speak to the persons in the chat. All right, cool. Thank you so much, SFOs. So this thing blew me away, right? She said, love is not enough. And I for the first time I understood that song. Tina Turner was saying, I don't want to be in love. That was the first time I remember hearing someone say, I don't want to be in love. I don't want you to tell me the words, I love you. Do not. I just want us to get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. That's what she was saying. But I had lived in this fantasy of being in love for so long. I couldn't comprehend what she was saying. Love is not enough. And I guess sometimes it really is not enough. But then, right after this, I learned a term I had never heard of before. Okay? When I heard this, I was like, huh? What? Okay? I'm trying to remember the exact terminology, but I know what it means is you have someone who, when you are randy, randy, when you're randy, you give them a call and they come over and they service you like a mechanic. And I was like, huh? What? Because I had never heard of these things. You know what I'm saying? The positive pusher, welcome to the chat. Thank you so very, very much for coming. Thank you for picking up the mods and the chat. It is a joy to have you here. I should say thank you again to my mods who always do an amazing job. Thank you to SF Rose, for talking me into doing these lives. I'm loving them, my sister. And of course, the boss himself, the TR Show. Thank you all very much. Yeah. So it's so this thing blew me away. I'm trying to remember. Does anybody know what the terminology is? What it means is you have someone who, when you are horny, you just call them and they come and service you. And I remember saying to the person, I said that can't work, because at some point, because here's the thing, one of the other great attachers in life is sex, and if the sex is amazing between two people, someone, normally both, but at least one of these persons is going to get very, very attached. And this idea, yes, Bridget Clark, thank you. Bridget Clark says, you mean booty call. That's what I'm talking about, a booty call, which is something I had not really understood prior to that. I didn't even understand what that terminology actually meant. Um, the thing is, I don't think booty calls are practical, or they really work ultimately, because at some point, one person is going to feel a little bit stronger than the other person. And that love element comes in, because here's the thing, intimacy, I think, is designed for several things. And one of the things that intimacy is designed for, I believe, is to create a stronger bond between both persons. I really think this. So when I first, now just understand me, I was an adult when I heard these terminologies, okay? I mean, y'all don't laugh at me. I know you like laughing at me. I love y'all. Right? And don't, because, you know, if I start laughing in the stream, I'm trying desperately to remain serious. Yeah, but I love that. Bridget Clark just used the Jamaican terminology. She says someone is going to catch feelings. Catch feelings in Jamaica means someone is going to fall for the other person. Catch feelings. Just remember that term. Catch feelings. Just like how, remember, I don't say I appreciate hate you. I say I appreciate love you. Bridget said it beautifully. Someone is going to catch feelings. And I was like, I mean, the first, because the person introduced the idea to, this was someone I knew, and she called me one day and she said, hey, let's, and I said to her, I don't think that's practical, because we're good friends, and I like you, and I already think you're very attractive, so I'm not sure I can do this. And she was like, Lord Peter, man, you're too touchy feely, you're too emotional, man. Just come, yes, Sharon Bailey also called it friends with benefits. Yes, friends with benefits. I think that was the term I first heard. And I was like, I don't think this is going to, are you sure? And she was like, oh, come on, Peter, it's okay. And I was like, are you serious? You really want to? And she was like, come on. So guess what? Guess what I did, people? I mean, she was gorgeous. Come on. And I was like, okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Cool. So I went, and then I did it all wrong, because I'm just was not good at this. I brought her flowers, and I bought candy, and I don't know, I was like terrible at this stuff. And I went to her place, and she was like, oh, this is really sweet of you, but you can't do these things. You can't be nice to me like that. So I was like, what are we gonna do? And she was like, we're just gonna bing, 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 bing. I was like, okay, yeah. And we just, and I mean, she was like, oh, and she also said, do not kiss me. People, I'm a kisser. She's like, no, 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 no. They just said, bang, 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 and out. Yes, my brother. And I was like, but I like kissing. And she said, no, kissing is intimate. And I was like, in my head, what we're going to be doing is way more intimate than kissing. I don't, and she was like, no. So, people, I gave her the rose and the chocolate, and we just went, we just went at it. You know what I mean? I'm working on the railroad all the live long day. I'm working on the railroad. Oh, please, don't make me start laughing in this place, please. Everything I wrote down would just go. Oh my gosh. Whoa. So so we did it, right? We did it. And because what had happened is I'd broken up with someone, and she had broken up with someone. She said, let's just help out each other. So she would call, like, so we did this for like a week. So she'd call, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of cool, I'm chilling. And she's like, just come on over. And so I would just go. She's like, hey, the door is open. Open the door, go in. And then, I'm working on the railroad all the livelong day. I'm working on the railroad and I got no time to play. Oh my gosh. No. My head hurt me. Every time you hear that song, that sweet refrain, you're going to remember this. I'm working on the rail. Oh my gosh. No. No, 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 no. So we tried this, right? We tried this. I mean, we were like, we were all like, we're like gangsters, we were like cool, hey, and then what started to happen was, right. So one day, I went over and, she said, so we were working on the railroad, right? And she said, we were finished, but she looked a little, down. And I was like, hey, what's wrong? And she said, maybe next time you should kiss me. And I was like, but you said we can't do that because, those are the rules you set. And she's like, yeah, but, it's just rules. People, what happened, right? Within 2 months we were dating. Because I was desperately trying to do this thing and it just wasn't working. All right. Within 6 months, I said, I love you to her. Come on. Got the club, you know what I'm saying? No, you don't. You're an innocent. But come on, y'all know this. Look, this whole process of this concept of I love you, right? Is subject to so many different things and we all come up with it because I think the booty call thing and the friendship benefits thing, someone got really hurt and just decided, I'm going to try this. But the truth is those things don't really work because someone is going to be left. Okay, maybe once in every million it works, but I don't think that really works for the average human being. Just think about what I'm saying. You're asking someone you're being intimate with constantly. Aisha says that's how it happens. Within 18 months, you're... Aisha, why have you been quiet all this time? So you telling me that you and my brother started out as friends with benefits, and then but that's what I mean. I'm saying we are human beings are designed, especially once you combine intimacy in the process, especially if you like each other, you get along well. I do not see how you're going to pretend to do this unless you're going to, I guess the minute you start feeling something, you the TR show. Dracio and I really tried to be just friends, but that doesn't work. I've heard people say it worked, but I've never actually come across anyone who actually worked with. Someone is going to be left hanging. Joy says, what does the term mean? Friendship benefits, Joy. It means if you're not seeing someone and I'm not seeing someone. So when you want intimacy, you call me and I come and I service you. I'm working on the railroad all the livelong day. But Joy, we're not supposed to catch feelings. We're not supposed to, fall for each other. It's just supposed to be mechanical. Just get it out of the way. You just need a little relief. But what I'm saying, Joy, is that is really not practical because human beings are not designed like that. So even if you both have the best of intentions, it won't work because especially if it's amazing. You know what I mean? If it's amazing, then the process changes because your brain, especially us as men, Aisha, you ask Dre CEO, he will tell you once it's amazing, like, and your toes do this. um, okay, I should be careful. I should be careful what I say. I'm thinking that my daughters might watch it in the future, so I have to be really careful how I say these things. But I mean, once you're okay, so okay, let's start. You're doing friends with benefits, right? And then you have one of those moments, those, when you hear, have you all ever had, you ever, been doing it, and then you just hear angels? Ah. You feel like you're drifting out of your body. It's so amazing. And then your toes do this. And then you start saying dumb stuff like for me, like when I, like that particular situation, I started to speak Japanese and I have no idea what the Japanese language is. It was ridiculous. I didn't even know what I was saying. I was just saying something Asian, I mean, it was just awesome. Bridget, yes, Bridget Clark. Once it's awesome, I'm like, I just talk nonsense. I mean, I just go off. It was just amazing. It was too amazing. There was no way, Bridget Clark, you will even give up your first. Yes, yes, Bridget. Well, Bridget, that was what it was like with. Let me not say it on the chat, but you know, anyway. But I'm just saying, once you get to that place, right? How are you going to do the friends with benefits thing? I mean, someone is going to be catching feelings. Someone is going to be falling for the other person. There is going to be a Queen Aisha moment when 18 months later you're married. Because we are not designed like that. I mean, I know that modernity tells us that we should be able to separate our feelings. And maybe some people can do that, but I don't think most of us can. Because the truth is, and here's the crazy thing, even though that young lady had said to me years and years ago, when she said to me, love is not enough, I think deep down we all want love to be enough. We all want love. We all desire love desperately. Bridget Clark says, okay, Joyce says relationships too militarized these days. Yep. Joy also says, when I was younger, people just love one another and things just flow. Yeah, because I think it's good, I think, that we have expectations in a relationship, and that's healthy. But I also think that sometimes those expectations are unrealistic, one. And two, as I said, if you are not yet in love with yourself, then loving the other person becomes very difficult. And as we have evolved as human beings and as humankind, I think also one of the challenges that we have in relationships is that the information being fed to us about relationships keeps changing. So our idea of what a great relationship is also alters. Aisha says it takes love and commitment. You also have to remain friends. It's imperative to stay connected with each other as you each evolve. Yes. 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 Those three things that you just said, I have them listed right here, are imperative, because you can be in love and fall out because you're walking like this and somebody does that and the other person doesn't follow. You go off on different paths. You have to be committed to the process. I mean, I have not been perfect. I have cheated on some of my partners and I regretted it. Because I was stupid, and I realized it had nothing to do with them. It had to do with me, my own insecurities, my fear. I was with an amazing person, cheated on her because I was terrified she was going to cheat on me. How ridiculously childish was I? How unevolved, how Neanderthal was I? I mean, come on. We must love ourselves. And then we must spend a little time trying to understand what this whole love thing really is. We have no choice. Because if we don't, we're going to be in for a world of hurt for a very, very long time. And then what we need to start doing now is communicating honestly with our children and our children's children and our grandchildren. We have to at some point start saying these things to them. We have to start telling them this, that hey, listen, it's okay to love yourself. That's all right. It's okay. It's okay to develop a relationship with you so you understand, and then you also need to have a sense of self. And Aisha said it: commitment, friendship, staying connected. We're not told any of these things. The songs don't tell you that part most of the time. The songs tell you about when you meet or when you end. The songs don't tell you the in between. People don't normally write songs in between, Um, but it's when you suddenly realize, I cannot live without this human being. I don't want to exist in a world if this person is not in that world with me. This concept of I love you evolves as we evolve. It does. I mean, and if you're not evolving, then there are going to be some problems. You inform yourself ultimately as to what this concept of I love you is. This belief in love. So Joy says, believe it or not, we need God in our life to keep love alive. I believe that actually. Yeah. I believe we need several things in our lives. I mean, I think we need a clear sense of self, which takes a long time to evolve. I think we need some degree of self-esteem. We'd have to be perfect, but we need some. I think we need to make the very difficult decision of being honest, which is not always easy. And I'm talking about not even with your partner, with yourself. And I'm going to go out on a limb here because I still think that love is enough. I still think that it depends on what you define love as. And if I could have had this conversation with that young lady again, Marianne says, Marianne says, I have a storm coming. Oh no. Is it the same storm that's been hitting the... Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Just be safe, Marianne. All right? It's for you. Please be safe, all right? Thank you so very much for coming. These 3 words are words that all of us, I think, want to hear. More importantly, I think we all want to believe the person when they say it to us, especially if it's the person that we want to say to us. But I think these 3 words also come with tremendous responsibilities. That means like a whole heap of responsibility. Saying to that person, I love you, is a lot. It's a lot of commitment. It's a lot of stuff that it is difficult to deal with. None of us actually wants to deal with this stuff. It is funny that one of the most complex things in our life, I love you, is also one of the most misunderstood, misinterpreted, and bewildering concept. Humans against the fridge. I define love as Twinkies covered in chocolate. That is cool. That is cool, bro. Joy says also showing that we love. Yes. Bridget Clark says love is enough if it encompasses all your needs. And I think that's the key. The need to be loved, the need to be desired, the need to desire to build a life together, and many other needs. And I think that's so, one of the weird things is I used to wonder why don't we have all this information when we are 10? Our lives would all be a lot easier. I agree with you. I believe love is enough. I still believe in the words I love you. I respect another person's not believing in it. I respect a person being questioning the use of the term or being unwilling to say it. I understand all of that. Humans against the fridge. Sorry. Oh, it's no problem, man. Humans against the fridge says, sorry, you needed to smile. It's no problem. I'm all good. And actually, I'm very, very happy. You said that. I'm very, very happy because we all do need to smile. Love is a beautiful thing. This whole journey that we're all on is a beautiful thing, and we we never know. We never ever know, and I think we never know where our journey will take us. We have plans, I don't know if they have this saying where you're from, whichever part of the world you're in from, but in Jamaica we say, man makes plans and God wipe out. Human beings plan stuff and God just do what he wants to do. You know what I mean? The pandemic is living proof of this fact. Sharon Bailey says, I agree with you at Joy. The most important relationship we can ever have is with God. He will show us the rest if we trust Him. But what are the odds we will? Yeah, yeah. Because, and you see, that's leading to another thing that I have written down here, which is love and trust. I think very often when we hear the words, I love you, one of the things we hear is, I am handing you my heart. And I think most of us are terrified when we hear that. you know, Vernon Payton Photo says, love is a trip that has many different roads. You need to choose what road you follow. I agree, Vernon Paints and Photos. I think that is key. I think that is essential in this discussion. You really have to decide where exactly do you want to go with this process. What are your long-term goals with this process? Um, the young lady who told me that love was not enough. Years later, I saw her date someone who I've never gotten that. She did. She went far beyond, way beyond, with someone who I've never believed deserved it. But I'm not in a position to make that judgment, to be honest. And maybe love wasn't enough with me. Maybe I wasn't that person. Maybe I was a drive-through. Who knows? And I'm not angry in any way. I'm just saying, everyone that you use the words at, or who use the words at you, I love you, will not be the right person. And that's the other thing. Vernon Painting Twitter says, sorry, I got deep for a moment. It will pass, I'm sure. You guys know that the deep thing for me, right, is, I'm struggling here trying to keep a straight face. I'm being honest with all of you. I'm desperately trying not to burst into song. um, I just think, I just wanted to discuss this because of a conversation I had very recently with the same young lady who had said to me many, 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 many moons ago that love wasn't enough. And we ended up having a really deep conversation. And she taught me a lot of stuff that I was still not aware of, And I just realized that this word love haunts us, and it empowers us, and it frightens us, and it has all these different impacts on us. And it's still one of those things that we're not comfortable discussing or talking about with each other. This idea of love. I think how cool it is for me to be in the chat and be able to say that I told Sharon Bailey that I loved her when I was 10. And I told Bridget Clark that I loved her. And in both instances, I meant it, but I was at different points and phases in my life. And we're all still friends. I think that's a really, really healthy and good thing. These are two amazing, amazing persons, amazing women. I'm always very, very happy to say that I still have that relationship with these two great people. They've gone on to have amazing families, amazing children, amazing husbands. These three words, I think it's worth it. I think the whole concept of love is worth it. I think it's worth it. Worth it. I've always wished I could rap, right? I'm hearing the rap songs in my head, people. But if I start rapping, y'all gonna run screaming to the hills. I'm telling you, you don't want me to start rapping. All right. Humans Against the Fridge says, I need to, damn it. I love the fridge. Made into a soda. Humans Against the Fridge. You cannot have me start laughing in the stream. You know what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna laugh for like 10 minutes. If once I get to that place, it's hopeless. I cannot come back from that place. All right, I can't. No matter what I try, I can't. Wow. I really want to say thank you all for taking your time out to sit with me and just let's just have these little moments of reasoning. Because seriously speaking, you could be doing something else. You all have other things you could be doing in your lives, and it's really really nice of you to be here. And we have these little reasonings, and sometimes we're serious, but more often or not, we are not serious. I think there's so many ways to this, to discuss these things. I don't want to ever get too deep. I mean, meaning too serious, because I think in everything that we discuss, in most things anyway, there's kind of like an alternate side, and a very strange twist. This whole idea of love. It's a song. If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. If being right means being without you, I'd rather be wrong than right. How about all the hunger? I cannot remember all the words. To the tenderness of your tongue. Am I wrong to try to hold on to the best thing I ever had? If loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. I don't want to be right. If being right means being without you. Human against the preachers. Sorry, I let you get serious again. Food processor might be better. No, it's okay, man. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. The fridge is here. I saw the humans against the fridge. Vernon Peter Porter says humans against the fridge. This is a serious chat. Please be good. It's all right. I think humans against the fridge helps us to break the momentum sometimes. We need it. And welcome, fridge. Thank you for being in the same chat with humans against the fridge. I love you both. You are good, good, good. Yeah. We have to start loving ourselves, all right? We have to at some point figure out a way or find something in ourselves that we think is special and amazing. So that when we meet someone that we think is special and amazing, it's easier for us to relate to that thing, and it's easier for us to embrace them and love them. And if we are in love with ourselves and understand our own greatness, then the insecurities that comes in all relationships, because no matter who you are, there are going to be moments of jealousy. You're going to be you're gonna have a little one of those 1-2s, and yeah, it's gonna happen. We have to learn to love ourselves. The fridge says, I had to speak off. I have to sneak off from Alexia for a second to pop in. I was about to say something to the fridge, but I'm not gonna say it. It. Listen, don't use the word popping in the middle of this conversation. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna behave. Don't let me go there. Oh my goodness. We need to love ourselves, and we need to love that higher entity that we believe in. Whoever you serve, you need to love that person too. And we need to I just love people, right? I'm just one of those crazy human beings. I love human beings. I love life. I love people. So because of that, I just wanted us to discuss these words that we all banter about, and we throw these words around a lot. I love you. Oh, I love you. I love you. And I don't think very often we understand the consequences of saying these words to some people, because there are persons in our lives who those words mean a lot. There are persons who grow up and spend their entire life, their preteens, their tweens, their teens, and no one in their immediate family, no parent, no sibling, nobody around them says I love you. So when you say those words to someone, I think I would say you should really consider what you're about to say, because that might mean so much to that person. It might mean everything to that person. Vermont Paints and Photos said, hello, it's not working. We all know you're going to lose it. I'm trying. Vermont Paints and Photos, I'm trying my best. My problem is that when I start laughing, right, I literally cry. I can't help myself. Joy says, it's beautiful to love and be loved. Yes, it is. But I think we need to be very careful about when we use those words. I think if you use those words to a person, you should actually mean it. Because you have to understand that everyone is coming from a different experience, a different perspective, a different life. And there are really people who, up until you say those words to them, have never had anyone, I mean, from baby, toddler, all the way up, say those words to them. And no matter what we all say, no matter who the person is, even if you think the person is the devil incarnate, we all want to hear those words and we all want to believe the person means it. So I think we need to we need to process what we are saying. Because sometimes you're not in love, sometimes you're in lust. Sometimes it's momentary desire, sometimes you're insecurity, but it's not really love. And I think we need to sort of step back a little bit and take a breath before we use that word and understand the consequence and the weight of those words. When you say I love you to someone, that's a really powerful and very serious thing, especially if the person wants to reciprocate that feeling and they want to believe it. I mean, sometimes we're going to mess up. Sometimes we're going to actually think we're in love, and that's true, and we are not. Or we were in love, or the love was not what we thought, or it was a little bit more intense. Like I said, saying I love you at 10 and saying I love you at an older age, a more mature age, were two different concepts of I love you, but I meant them, at that moment in time. So we should kind of be careful about what we say to people when we say it. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so very much for being here with me. You guys are amazing. It's always amazing to have you here with me. I'm really beginning to open up and enjoy these lives, all right, which is probably why I laugh so much, because this is who I am, people. I'm the person in the room. You always have one person who's like always positive. I'm the crazy guy in the movie, the horror movie, the monster, whatever is coming at you, and everybody's saying, "Oh my God, this is it. It's game over, man. It's game over." I'm the person who's going to grab you and say, "We can make it. We can make it. Come on, get up. We can do this. Come on, get up." I'm that person. I'm sorry, I'm that person. I'm always going to be that individual. I don't know. I have to see some like when the pandemic hit, right, and everybody around me was like freaking out. And I'm not saying I didn't freak out for like maybe a couple of days. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I was the guy in the room who said, "Hey, listen, this thing is gonna pass. Like maybe in the next 2,000 years." But I'm teasing. It's gonna pass before that. I said, "This is gonna pass, or we're gonna figure out a way to live with it." You need people like me. The cray craze. Yeah, y'all know I'm cray cray. We need the cray craze, because without us, what would our lives be? We need a few people who are just nuts. And I'm just one of those persons. Bridget Clark says, "Thank you. Great conversation. It is always a joy to see you here. It's always a joy. Thank you so very much to be here, Bridget. I mean, it means a lot for you to be in this chat. Trust me. All of you, it means a lot. Angela, McPherson, all of you. It's amazing for you to spend this time with me. Thank you so very much. While I struggle through what I consider actually a very important conversation, thank you so much, Sharon Bailey, my first love. It is an amazing thing that we are able to sit here and share these moments. But listen. You need people like me. Think about it. You're gonna need some cray person. I'm gonna be the guy in the room saying, "We can do this. Hey guys, we can do this. Come on. Look, I know. We're outnumbered. It's 5,000 of them and 5 of us, but we can do it." You're gonna need those people. Tony says, "Can you please get the dumb people not to run past the front door and run up the stairs when when the murderer is coming?" I always wonder about that. Are they up? Okay, like you're watching the horror movies, right? And I've never understood it. Okay, I'm going to say something to you, and I love you all. You all know I love you. All right, but this is something people of African descent never do in movies. That's why they do not often put us in horror movies. All right, because we're gonna be the person. Like you move into the house. Follow me. You just bought a new house. Meet the Wilsons. They've just bought this beautiful house on 40 acres of beautiful land. You move into the house the first night. You get in, all your friends have left, the moving men have left. You're there, you're having a wonderful time, and it's about 8 p.m., and the house says, "Get out now." Other people say this: "What? Get out? Come on, we're gonna fight for our home. We're gonna fight." People of African descent, yo, the house said, "Get out. Let's get out now." Did the house just speak? Let's go. I've never understood this. I would be gone. Okay, you're driving down the highway in the middle of the night. Okay, you are the only person in the truck. You see someone blooded with a hacksaw or something like that, blood on it, and you pull over. "Hey, do you need a lift?" No, no, you do not. You keep driving. Like, oh, listen, Tony, I have never understood why people do that. I have never understood it. It's just like, the zombies. Do you all remember that the first zombie movies, right? The zombies were slow. So they were like, and I used to say, how did the zombies catch you? It's not possible. You could literally do this. Boop, boop, be-doo, and the zombies, okay. This is my brain is going elsewhere. Y'all are trying to get me distracted. Literally, I never understood that. The zombies would be like, and I'm like, how were you caught by the zombies? These people, they're so slow, it's scary. It made no sense. And that's why you don't have people like me in those movies. Because the movie would last 10 seconds. Get out. Hey guys, do you hear that? The house said get out. Let's go. No, Barry. Listen, Barry, listen to me. I know you're Caucasian, Barry, but no. If the house says get out, Barry, we need to go. Let's go, Barry. Or, if the zombies coming at you, you don't even need to run. You just need to walk faster. They can't catch you. I've never understood this. I used to be like the worst person to watch horror movies with. The worst person. Remember that movie, the one when she came out of the well and then she would climb through the TV? And this was me. Does anybody remember that movie? She would come out, they would put in this cassette. First of all, why would you put in the cassette? Okay? They said if you watch a cassette, this lady would come out and she would murder you. And the teenagers in these movies are the dumbest people on earth. They're like, "Hey, have you heard about this cassette that if you watch it, the lady's gonna come out and she's gonna rip your guts out?" And the other teenagers are like, "Yes, let's watch it." No! And even if I was there and she was because she takes like 20 minutes to come out of the well, right? And then crawl all the way, the ring, Bridget Clark, yes, and crawl over the way and then climb out. Why would I be seated there? By the time she got out of the television, I would be in Canada. I would not be there. I have never understood this. I'm like, and the people are like, I'd be like, "Get up, run." I couldn't star in those movies. I would be terrible at this. Listen, Tony, you distracted me. I love you, but you distracted me. I have really never ever understood this about these horror movies. I would be like I would be the worst person to watch horror movies with. I am not joking. I was like the absolute worst person to watch these movies with because I would point at all the obvious stuff. I was like, huh? But what? That doesn't make any sense. The Ring. Yeah, okay. One was The Ring. Do you remember the other one when her head would turn around and it was in Japan and she lived in this house and everybody who went into the house died and people kept going into the house. Hey, one solution, Knock the house down. Just get. I mean, you know. All right. Sorry, y'all got me distracted, and that is not cool. Tony, Damien, I cannot believe you did that to me, my friend. I love horror movies though. I gotta admit I love horror movies, but I'm the worst person to watch a horror movie with because I'm gonna point out the most obvious stuff. Like, okay, but what's up? What's this? Anyone here used to watch The Walking Dead? Because it's something I used to watch a lot. Yeah, The Walking Dead. Anyway, listen. Thank you so very much for joining the chat today. It's been a joy having all of you here. Um, thank you. I think we all learned something, and tomorrow we'll be here again at 5:30 p.m. Jamaica time. We will tackle another topic, probably something a little lighter tomorrow. But it's always a joy to have you here. I mean, really and truly, my purpose on YouTube is to try to assist all of us in becoming better versions of ourselves. That's really my purpose. You know what I'm saying? So whether that is to sing for you, to make you feel better, to make you laugh, and to, hopefully educate you a little bit. So thank you very much, guys. Vermin Poltergeist made no sense to me. You're not the only person, but he made a lot of movie though. Joy said we did. Humans Against the Fridge said twin kids will live forever. I agree with you. Technically, they really will live forever though. Humans Against the Fridge. Everyone who was in the chat, thank you so very much, Bridget Clark. It really meant a lot to have you here. Um, Sharon Bailey, it meant a lot to have you here, and I'm glad that you're cool with us talking about, us as kids and earlier. Um, it is a blessing when I rise up in the morning, knowing, woman, you are by my side. It is a blessing through the pains and the sorrows, knowing Jaja has been our guide. It is a blessing that this union is perfection. Thank you, Jaja, for this blessed design. I feel good, 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 good. Yeah, my love is pure. My love is sure. This love is a cure. Woman, it be you will always soar. This love is divine, truly one of a kind. So I see she will shine. Angela McPherson, thank you too for this light moment. It's a pleasure and a joy. It is amazing to have you here, Mrs. Mack. Mrs. Mack is one of the greatest educators Jamaica has produced, and I'm not BSing you. She's an amazing person. You'd love her the moment you met her. Thank you, guys. Joy, thank you. All of you, thank you so very much. Come by tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica time. We're gonna have fun again. We're gonna hang out and show some love to each other. You guys have been amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so very much for spending some time with me. To all the new people who came in, I hope you had fun. Remember to leave a like, put that thumbs up. YouTube loves it, and so do I. And if you have not yet, spend some time. Please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate love it. Spread the word. All right, this is all about love. Good night to all of you, my brothers and my sisters, you kings and you queens, you amazing, incredible human beings. I love you all. You are greatness personified. Let no one take that from you. All right, in your moments of doubt, remember this Rastaman from Jamaica. I love you and I believe it. Blacklight Records, aka Peter Lloyd, signing out. Go check out some of my other content, please, if you have the time. Show me some love. Blessed love and light. I love all of you. Tony, Damien, thank you for coming. Joy, thank you. Bridget. Humans Against the Fridge, always a joy to have you here. The Fridge, we love you. Thank you for being here. All my mods, thank you so very, very much. Vermin Pits and Photos. It is always a joy to have you here. Thank you so, so very much. SF Rose, if you're still here, all of you, I love all of you. Mary Ann, I think you had to go, but it was a joy to have you here. Everyone who came in, my friend from Hong Kong, from the Philippines, if you're still here, thank you. Love all of you. You are love, you are light, you are blessed, you are awesome. Let no one take this from you. Okay, signing out. I love you all. See you tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Jamaica time. Blessed love.